I'm Luke Melke, helping you master the art of filmmaking. Today we're talking about shot lists are one of those things that a lot of people just think they're wasted time. I don't have time to do it in pre-production. We'll just figure it out on set. Now, I've worked with a lot of beginning directors, and most of them say something like that. But they quickly find out on set they wish they knew what they were doing before they got in set. You know, you as the director of photography or the director or whoever is putting together the shot list can easily push this off, but it might only take you an hour, maybe 2 hours to put together the shot list. But on set, it will take you way more than 1 to 2 hours to try and figure out how to fix or how to create the shot you're looking for. Because not only do you have to worry about you have to worry about everybody else's time. So let's say you waste an hour on set. Well, an hour on set is huge because you have all the crew, all the actors, everybody's time multiplied times that 1 hour. If you have 15 people on set, that 1 hour that you could have spent in pre-production, it will only cost you 1 hour. On set now costs 15 hours. So it becomes exorbitantly bigger waste of time to not create the shot list in advance. So shot list is primarily about efficiency, even though it's hard to do and it seems like a lot of work and time in the beginning. In the end, it will definitely pay off. So exactly what is a shot list? A shot list has a ton of variations. There's no one way to do a shot list. I'll just show you some principles with a shot list style that I use and that I'll have as a free template on my website that you can download. But a shot list, primarily what it is, it gives you your angles, your lens type, what is being shot in what order, description of what's being shot when, and basically how long it's going to take that shot. So you can schedule out how long your production day is going to be. Like I said, there's a ton of extra variations you can add into their takeaway, but that's primarily what it is. Because you want to know what is the most efficient way to shoot this. So you can put, oh, we're going to be shooting with this 35mm lens 4 different times, and then we're going to be shooting with a 50mm lens 3 times. Well, you want to know all that in advance, so you can set up all those same basic shots at the same time. So you set up shots 1, 3, and 5 to all be shot back to back. That way you don't have to worry about setting up one setup, moving all the equipment over, the lighting, shooting shot 2, coming back to shot 3. Well, that doesn't make any sense. You already had a setup for shot 3. Just shoot shot 3 right after shot 1. So that's what helps you really organize all that. So there's less moving around of equipment, resetting up, and having to move actors and things like that all around. It just makes things a lot more efficient. So that's basically what you have on a shot list is your lens type, whether it's on a tripod or not, or if it's handheld, how long the shot's going to take, some notes with it, what line it's going to be. I've had the problem where I've created a shot list but didn't actually put what part of the script went with that shot. So I got on set and like, oh boy, this is not really that helpful. And some basics like that. So why do you want a shot list? Well, it is basically keeps everything organized, keeps things much more efficient. You want to be efficient. Efficiency is key in film production. I mean, you obviously want quality, you want all that other stuff too, but efficiency is huge because if you can be efficient, you can shoot a lot more stuff, which saves you a lot of money, which saves you a lot of headache in post, and just the more efficient you can be on set, the easier things can work on set and beyond that. So put all the work in the production before you even get to set. So all your pre-production is really what makes everything else work smoothly and efficiently. It also allows you to know what equipment you need to bring, because if you don't know what equipment you need to bring, you could bring everything and hope you have everything you need. Or you can actually have your shot list, like I know I need this, 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 and this. Well, look in your car, your truck, your van, whatever, and see, do we have all the equipment we need? Yes or no. If you don't, you have to go find the equipment or reorganize your shot list to make sure you work with what you need to make your production. Believe me, on set, things can get very, very stressful. When you're working with, especially a crew of more than just yourself and working with actors, things get very stressful because everyone's coming to you for questions. You need to have answers for everything. So if the more you can have answers already written out, already planned out, people already know what they're doing, the less stressful it is for you because you have enough other things that are going to be very stressful during the shoot. So you want to have your shot list to save you a lot of stress on set. And believe me, that'll make you both sleep a whole lot better the night before, knowing everything's ready, and the night after, knowing that you didn't just work way harder than you needed to. And the last reason I'm going to mention here for why you want a shot list is it ensures you shot everything you needed. There are very few things more disappointing than you get done with a shoot, you tell everyone that's a wrap, you get back into the office, start editing everything, and you realize you're missing a shot, especially when it's a pivotal shot. You're like, oh no, I need this shot, but everything's torn down, everything's put away. I've done things like that with some productions where I've did the shots. We even had a shot list, but we had a new cinematographer that came in, and it kind of messed things up. We didn't end up actually having that shot list working, and we actually missed some shots. And that was very, very difficult, and trying to fix things in post was not an easy task. It added days and days of extra work trying to manipulate the footage to still get the story across. Okay, so I'm here now in Excel creating a shot list. And I'm going to kind of walk through the different steps and things like that I use when creating a shot list with Excel. Well, first thing is I like to put the title of the film with it. I know you're like, well, I know what film I'm shooting. I get that. But I like to put this on there for a couple reasons. One, if it somehow gets lost, the crew can easily find it. You might also want to just put your name here, like my name. Hopefully spell that right. Okay, my name, which is, probably most of you figured it out by now, Luke Milky. But then also put the film title here. And the other reason I want to put the film title is it helps me when I go back and look at previous productions. I put everything into folders when I get done with the production, so I can look back at what did I learn, what notes did I put on, like, oh, I wish I could change this, do this differently, highlighted certain things, what worked well, what didn't. And this helps me keep everything organized when I go back and look at the films later on, seeing, oh, this was good, that was bad, what can I improve? Because I always want to be improving. If I'm shooting films and not trying to improve or get better or learn from mistakes or learn from other things throughout the shoot, I probably shouldn't be in filmmaking. You really want to keep learning from what you did before and get better continually. You'll never reach a point where you're as good as you possibly could be. You should always be trying to improve and get better. So that's why I like to do that. I put the film title so I remember what productions with when I organize all my other files later on. I have several folders with different work and production things, and I go back and check periodically. But then I also put the scene number, and then if you want to title it, this is where awesomeness begins. That's my scene 1 right now, and this title of my film here is Awesome Film. Hopefully you figured out this isn't real film. I'm just making this up here. So what is all in a shot list? Well, there's several different ways you can do a shot list. There's a ton of different things you can put in a shot list or not put in a shot list. It really depends on what you're shooting, what your style is, who you're working with, what is it they request. There's just a lot of different reasons for doing different type of things with your shot list. So I'm just going to put here, I have a simple version, and we're going to look here at not as a simple version, so I can show different things. So there's a ton of things you can put into a shot list, but if you put too many things, it just becomes confusing, and it no longer is a help. It's just a hindrance because you have to check everything, and it can become several pages long or wide. So you see here, I have the simple one, and it's basically a page wide. If I have to have it 2 or 3 pages wide, it's probably too big because I have to have them side by side, and it's going to become clunky, and it's not going to speed up production, because the reason we want a shot list is it really creates efficiency. So if we have something that's not efficient, that kind of ruins the whole point of a shot list. So we have here the scene. Once again, I have scene 1. This is something that you don't necessarily have to have even in something like this. So give you a little more space to get rid of that because we already put the scene title up here. We also have the shot. This is shot 1. I'm putting here the order of where we're shooting it. Some people also put like scene. You can have just shots as far as like how they're going to be edited in the scene. So this would be planned as this is going to be scene or part 1, shot 1, however you want to call it in the scene, part 2, part 3, part 4, all the way down. And then this would be what order you're shooting them in. For me personally, I don't care as much what shot it's going to be as far as in the order of the edits while I'm shooting, because that doesn't really make that big a difference. What really matters is what order am I going to be shooting them in? This right here, this column here. I'm going to be shooting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down through here. That's really what makes more sense for me. That way I can check off what's shot. I don't care how it's going to be edited later at this point, as long as I know I got all the shots that are needed and I thought through where it's going to fit in the film in pre-production. I don't have to put the notes here. And then the location, it's where in the scene, what's going to be in the scene. Okay, am I shooting at the table, which is where I put here? Am I shooting near the doorway? Am I shooting... Some people just put interior, exterior. I don't think that's detailed enough. I want to put more specifically, where's the camera, where is it looking? And then we also have description. This is like the cool guy walks over to the cool girl, because this is an awesome film. Everybody's awesome in this film. That just helps me know what's happening. What is the action that needs to be happening in this set here? And then the framing. So this is a medium shot. That's what the MS stands for. If I have MCU, medium close-up. That's not Marvel Cinematic Universe. We also have, some people put L shot, so it would be a long shot. Some also put in WS for wide shot to say the same basic thing. We also put the lens type. It's the 35mm lens, 85. Also, there's dialogue, if there is, where in the dialogue. And there's some notes. The camera follows my character through here is what I'm putting down here. The camera follows. And then time. This is how long do I expect this shot to take. I'm putting in here 15 as in 15 minutes. You can also put it in 0.25, count it as in hours. It really depends on which way you think, what works better for you. You could also do 0:15, and that gives you 15 minutes, however you want to do that. I just put in 15 for 15 minutes. But I'm going to go back to here. Why do we want to create the shot list and want to know what lens? Well, we want to put in the lens here because if you have to keep on switching your lenses in and out, that's not a good thing. I typically want to shoot as many of my 35mm lens shots in a row, if possible, just to create efficiency. That way I don't have to swap lenses back and forth, especially if I'm on like a gimbal or something like that, where it really takes a lot of balancing. I don't want to keep switching and redoing my balance because the balance can take sometimes 10-15 minutes just to set a good balance. And we don't want to waste time with that because, once again, shot list is all about efficiency on production. So the cool guy walking over, that way we know what's happening. You can put a whole bunch of different type of things in your description here, the notes as well. It can be a bunch of random stuff. And once again, your time. So this is a really simple shot list. It doesn't have everything you could possibly want in there. But the notes section, you can pretty well add everything in here because some people put, is it a tripod shot? Is it a gimbal shot? Is it a handheld shot? Sometimes they have an actual column for that. I just typically want to put into my notes section. What is the notes? I will say tripod. Well, it'll be kind of hard for this other shot to be tripod here, so the camera follows. I'm assuming that means it has to be on gimbal. But if I feel I really need to put the note in there, I'm going to put that as gimbal. There we go. Now it's on a gimbal. So that's how you can put the notes in if you feel like you really need to have more notes. But like I said, there's a ton of different things you can put into a shot list. And there is no shot list that is totally extensive for everybody. These are just a couple samples that are on my website. If you want to download these samples, use them however you want. Don't have to credit me or anything. It just use as you want. We're here to help the film community get better, helping you master the art of filmmaking. So here's a little bit more complicated one. When I label down here, not as simple. Once again, this isn't complete, but you see now I'm filling the whole page all the way across, and there's really not enough space to type in description, especially if I'm printing this off. I probably want a little bit more space than that because I put cool guy walks over to cool girl. That's not even space to put 3 full words. And if I space that down to do the proper formatting like this, with the Control Enter, pull this down. Well, that didn't even work there. So if I do it like this, it's actually Alt-Enter, not Control-Enter. Now it looks really dumb to make it all fit in. Now my shot list just doesn't look good. So I'm going to undo all of that stuff. Once again, the location. Here I'm actually having what camera it is, because you can sometimes have multiple cameras on shoot. You have camera A, B, C, or you also might label them cameras 1, 2, 3. Typically they're A, B. So I might have different cameras shooting at the same time. So I want to give different notes for the different cameras. So I want to make sure I put down what camera is doing what. So once again, there's the framing. Is it medium shot? What lens type? Is it dialogue? Well, I'm putting none. What is dialogue? Camera notes, time. But some people also want to have in like props. their characters that are in the scene. They also have extras that might be in the background. What are some audio notes? What lighting are you going to have for this shot? Do you need this certain light on? Because there might be something where, say, during the course of the scene, a light is supposed to get broken. Maybe it's an action scene. You want to make sure that light is broken when you're shooting, say, shot 15, when the light was actually broken on shot 3. You want to make sure that things are consistent throughout, that the lighting doesn't randomly turn on and off throughout the shoot. You want to make sure when it's broken earlier on that it's broken later on. So you might have to put in here broken light, something like that. And then now my note is there, broken light. So there's a lot of different things you can put in here. Once again, there is no complete shot list, but I really wouldn't recommend typically doing something much more complicated than this, because if you do, you're going to start having some problems there. But here's another thing that some people also do is they color code their shots. You can color code based on your lens type. Normally, if I do this, I would put the whole thing as that color. So the whole thing is that color. So you know all these shots that have yellow crossed are using the 35mm lens. Or I might color code it every time there's a specific character or the specific prop that's in there. I will color code those. You can do individual color coding like this. It starts getting really confusing if you have a lot of random colors throughout the thing. So I would just focus on one specific. This is very, very important to make sure we have in all the shots to catch this one detail. So I just put it in here. Make sure they're obviously different colors for different shots or different, whatever is being different. You want to make sure they have different colors. Here I have 85, 50, and 35mm. They are all their own color. Back here with the time, it is a good idea to keep track of your time so you know what time, as far as how long your shots are. Like, oh, this is going to take about 15 minutes. This one's going to take about 5. This one's going to take about 30 minutes. This one's going to take 15, 10. You know at the end of the day how long that shoot's going to take. You can even have at the bottom here all of these here. Boom. So this is going to take 75 minutes now with this. Well, I have it scheduled to shoot for an hour and a half. Okay, this will all fit in there. But if I end up having a 15-minute, another 30-minute, and, well, all of a sudden I'm at 2 hours, that's a problem. So I need to know, what do I have to simplify? What can I take out? There's very, very few times where you come up with a schedule that is actually perfect. It just very seldom happens where you don't have to take anything out. You don't have to cut anything. Like, oftentimes you have to cut stuff out on set, and you can figure out what is it. Oh, this one's going to be the long shot. What can I simplify in this shot and still add the shot in the film and drop this time? So if I can drop this time by 15 minutes, bam, now I'm getting a lot closer. Let's drop this one instead of 15 minutes. Can we make that a 20-minute? Can we make this a 10-minute? Bam, now we're inside the hour and a half shoot time. So this is something that you want to make sure you keep track of this. Some people will put in not just how long it's going to take, but they say this shot is going to start at 7:15, and then this shot is going to start at 7:30, and they'll actually put the actual time in versus how long do they expect it to take. Then you can kind of follow along and see, oh, yep, I'm on time. No, I'm not on time. Okay, we should be at this shot at 8 o'clock, and it's actually 8:15. Well, you know you need to start adjusting stuff after that point just to speed things along. So that's why you want to have a time type of thing like this as well. Now you know what, why, and how to create a shot list, but you also have to make sure you're ready to be flexible with your shot list, because it never goes as planned. Film production never goes as planned. So you need to be ready at any time to readjust your shot list, whether that means you add shots, which is very seldom you add shots, take away shots, or adjust shots, because usually things don't go as efficiently as you hope they will. Something comes up where it takes more time, or you just envision something, oh, that should only take 15 minutes. You get on set and realize, no, that's going to take like a half an hour. So you have to be ready to adjust. So make sure you don't just eliminate shots just haphazardly. You want to make sure you have a purpose behind why you're eliminating shots, or how you can readjust shots to still tell your story. And really what I've noticed happens a lot of times when you adjust your shot list on set is when you're on set, you really start to grasp and understand what the scene is better than you did in pre-production. But if you didn't do the shot list beforehand, on set trying to change it, you're sitting there trying to figure out everything, and it becomes a headache. But if you've already thought through it once, it's just like writing maybe a paper or something. The second write is usually better than the first one. So if you're on set and you have to rewrite your shot list, that's not a bad thing. That can actually make the shot list better. If you like this video, please comment, like, share, subscribe. Invite your neighbors over to watch it with you. I don't really care. Just let me know if you liked it and if you have any questions.